Timalang Apsheni, Ralocha, Sanwanani Molweni. My name is Naledi Mfoloe, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our communities. President Joe Biden's planned trip to Angola, which was meant to mark his first visit to Africa as president, has actually caused controversy. Now, the trip was not only a chance for Biden to fulfill promises made to African leaders, but also an opportunity for Angola to showcase its importance on the continent. However, the visit has been postponed. Now, President Biden's intended trip to Angola was anticipated to be historical. I mean, it was meant to signal a renewed commitment to Africa, especially in light of increasing influence from rivals like China and Russia, right? And for Angola, I believe that a visit from the US president was a chance to actually highlight its geopolitical significance after years of relative neglect from Washington. And many South Africans, right, argue that Biden's commitment to Africa has been superficial at best. But despite claiming that his administration prioritizes the needs of continent's 1.3 billion people, Biden has yet to actually set foot on African soil since taking office in 2020. Instead, he has focused his attention on Europe and other regions, raising significant questions about the sincerity of U.S. engagement with Africa. And as a Black African from South Africa, I find this situation deeply frustrating. And it's the fact that the postponement of Biden's trip comes across as another instance of neglect towards African continent, which is a perception that many of us have felt for decades. And Biden's administration has announced its dedication to Africa, yet, if we're being honest, the actions speak louder than words. And it seems that Africa is often an afterthought in the US foreign policy, if we're being honest, often overshadowed by other international interests. And the reality is that Africa deserves more than just fleeting attention from world powers, especially as we navigate our own challenges, including economic recovery and political stability. The historical context cannot be ignored. President Biden's promises to elevate African representation at international institutions and support for significant initiatives like healthcare and infrastructure were met with so much enthusiasm during the US-Africa Leaders Summit in December 2022, yet many of these commitments still remain unfulfilled. And it is disheartening to see that while Biden has prioritized multiple visits to Europe and other regions, he has significantly sidelined Africa, if we're being honest. This is particularly alarming given that China has taken a more proactive approach, solidifying its ties with African nations through numerous investments and partnerships. And the Biden's administration focus on securing resources, I believe it risks perpetuating a cycle of exploitation, like to what we have seen with Chinese investments in Africa, where local populations often see little benefit from the wealth generated by their own resources. And moving forward, right, I believe it's crucial for the US to actually engage with Africa authentically. This means that listening to the voices of African leaders and citizens and actually addressing the historical grievances and creating partnerships that prioritize mutual benefit rather than resource extraction. Now, as the continent continues to navigate its place on the global stage, we must ensure that African voices are not just heard, but are actively included in shaping our future. The world must recognize Africa's significance and not just for its resources, but for its potential to actually contribute to global solutions. Now, what do you think? We want to hear from you. Let's engage in the comment section, shall we? And all you adults, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is goodbye for now.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Chubal Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.